So this is our f of x function, and this is our g of x function. So first you're going to start by adding. What this means, f plus g of x. That means that you're adding together f of x and g of x. That's what that means. And remember, when you add, all you do is combine your like terms. So you have 3x squared minus 4x plus 2x plus 1. All right, go ahead and combine your like terms and see what you get. So what would be our like terms in this first one? There's only two things that we can add together. Somebody besides Chris, because Chris always answers, which I appreciate you. Wait, who said something? Yep, the -4 and the 2. So let's go ahead. That's all we can do is add these together. And that's going to give us 3x squared. And then what is -4 plus 2? -2x plus 1. That's my answer. That's f plus g of x. All right, now let's do subtraction. We got f minus g of x. So what that means is I'm taking f of x minus g of x. Now for this one, we do have to distribute a negative first. Hi, thank you so much. Oh, is this?
Yeah, it's a card.
Okay. Who is this? Who's the person? Okay, thank you. I think this is you. This is, yeah, that is you. Okay. All right, so we're going to take f of x minus g of x. So we're going to take the f function, which is 3x squared minus 4x. We're going to subtract this time. Then we're going to put our g function in parentheses. Now, this is only for subtraction that we have to do our sign change. Ayana, can you please put away your phone and take out your notes, please? So we're going to go ahead and distribute the negative first. And you only have to do that when it's subtraction. When it's addition, the only thing you have to do is combine like terms. So everything in blue will have a sign change. So that would be 3x squared minus 4x. That positive 2x is going to flip to a negative 2x. And that positive 1 flips to a negative 1. All right, go ahead and combine your like terms again. This time it's a -4 and a -2. Were you here Monday? Yeah. Okay, so you got the notes and stuff? Yes. Okay, so when you combine these together, what would be your answer? Charles, what did you write? What was your answer? I mean the whole answer. Yep. Any questions about how we add or subtract? All right, so now let's go to our notes. We did addition, we did subtraction. Now we're going to move on to multiplication. So in your note packet, go to page 4. All right, so we got our f of x and we got our g of x. This time we're multiplying. So this little dot in the middle, that tells me we're multiplying. So I'm going to take my f of x function, which is 3x plus 6, and I'm going to multiply that by my g of x function, which is 4x minus 2. So let's go ahead and put it in our box. So we're going to put, we have to do a box or distribute. These little things, this kind of looks confusing that they put that there, because it may look like we have to combine our like terms, but we don't. Are you looking for the notes for today? They're on the table, laid out. But that's not it. So what we have to do first is multiply. So let's go ahead and fill in our 4 squares. Fill in your 4 squares. Remember, when you're multiplying, you are combining your like terms. So you have 3x times 4x. So, Javion, what would you say? What is 3x times 4x? 12x. What's the other part? What's the exponent on the x? 2. Yeah. Daniela, what about 4x times 6? 24x. Demarion, what about 3x times negative 2? Negative 6x. And Elizabeth, what about 6 times negative 2? Negative 12. So now these things here, this is what goes on this blanks. After you multiply, we're supposed to fill in our 4 blanks. That's what goes here. So what we got out of the box. And when I combine my like terms, which would just be these two. So pick up your calculator. Take 24 plus negative 6. What'd you get? 18. Positive 18x minus 12. That would be my answer. This is multiplication. F times g of x. Any questions about that? All right, let's go on to our next one here. So this time we have a little bit bigger of a box because I have x squared minus 4x minus 3. And then here I have 2x minus 2. So you see how I have 3 terms. So because I have 3 terms, I need to make a box that's a little bit longer. It needs to kind of look like a rectangle. So I'm going to put my x squared minus 4x minus 3. And then down the sides, 2x minus 2. So take a second, fill in all 6 squares. So when you're multiplying, you do change your exponents. So you're adding together your exponents now. So this has only 1x and this has 1x. So in this first square, I would have 2 and then it's 3 x's, 2x cubed. Because I have to add together the 1 and the 2. That's how I get 3 x's in that box. The next box, I have negative 4 times 2, which is a negative 8. And then I have 1 plus 1, so that would be x squared. And then I have a negative 6x. All right, go ahead and fill in your bottom row. Fill in your bottom row. So you're going to take the negative 2 times x squared, which will be a negative 2x squared. And then you have negative 2 times negative 4. And the negative times the negative becomes positive. And then I have a positive 6. Now, I do like the box because you can see our like terms. You see our x squareds. These are like terms, so we can add those together. And then these are just x's, so we can add those together. Because these two boxes have 2 x's, and these two boxes only have 1 x. So we can add them together. So what we get is 2x cubed. Now pick up your, if you need to, take negative 2 and negative 8. Add them together. You should get negative 10x squared. Then you're going to take 8 plus negative 6, which is the same thing as 8 minus 6, which is a 2. And then we add the 6. That would be your final answer. Any questions? All right, let's keep on rolling. So I want you all, we're going to set up the box. I'm going to set up the box for you. And then I'm going to come around and see what you're putting inside your boxes. So we got 3 things. So that means I have x squared plus x plus 7. That goes across the top. And then 3x squared plus 6. So fill in all 6 squares. Remember, you're adding your exponents. That was pretty good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and show my 6 squares. You can go ahead and compare. Did you have the same 6 terms in your 6 boxes? Now this was a little tricky though, because there's only 2 squares. In all 6, there's only 2 squares that are like terms. Okay, there's only 2. So the only 2 squares that we can add together are these 2, the 2 with the x squareds. Okay, so we're going to start with our highest power and go down. So that would be 3x to the 4th plus 3x cubed. Now take the 21 plus 6. What do you get when you add the 21 and the 6? 27. And then I have a 6x and I have a 42. So this is a long answer. Really long answer. All right, let's flip the page. We got a couple more. So we're going to just take these 2. Let me see which one I want to do. I think I want to do B. Let's do B, page 5. And we're going to do all three things. All three things with question B. So the first thing I'm going to do is add them together. So let's do that. So F plus G. So if I add them together, go ahead and do that. Take your 2x squared plus 2x plus x squared plus 5x plus 1. Go ahead and add those together and see what you get. So remember, for addition, the only thing we're doing is combining our like terms. That's it. So looking at that, my only like terms would be, we got a couple like terms. Okay, we got our x squareds that we can add together. That would be 3. Then we also have my x's. 2 plus 5 would be 7. And then the 1 doesn't have a like term. So that's my addition. So now let's subtract them. So that's my first answer. So we're looking for 3 answers, because we have to do all 3 operations. We're going to add, subtract, and multiply. So now let's subtract f minus g of x. So now I want you to put your f function first. And then you're going to put down a subtraction sign and put everything in the g function inside of that parentheses. So everything here. So first we add it, and then we're going to subtract. So for subtraction, before we can subtract, everything inside of the parentheses, you need to flip the sign. So you see how right now all 3 are positive? All 3 are going to change to a negative. So what that's going to give you is 2x squared plus 2x. And then this minus sign changes to a plus. And then I'm going to flip all the signs. So that would be a negative x squared, a negative 5x, and a negative 1. All right, go ahead and combine your like terms again. So this changes to a positive, but everything inside of the parentheses has to flip signs. Everything flips the sign. So that means that x, this becomes a negative x. So notice that I made this a positive, which maybe that's confusing. Maybe I shouldn't do that because I don't want you all, because we don't even have to do that. Like, if that's confusing people, we can just take that plus sign away.
No, it's because I thought it was negative up there.
No, a couple other people did it too. But the main thing to keep in mind is that everything flips the sign, including the x squared. That's now negative. So when I combine my like terms, that's 2 minus 1, which is not 3. 2 minus 1 gives me just 1x squared. All right, and then I'm going to add together the 2 and the minus 5. 2 minus 5 would be what? Negative 3x. And then I bring down the minus 1. That's my answer for subtraction. All right, so the last thing we have to do is multiply. So we're going to make a box. And when I make my box, it's going to be a little bit longer. So I'm going to put my x squared plus 5x plus 1 across the top, and then my 2x squared plus 2x down the side. All right, go ahead and fill in all 6 squares. So this has 3 answers. Now, you do have an exit ticket on Friday where you'll have to do all 3. You're going to have to add, subtract, multiply, and then tomorrow we'll talk about composition. Let me make sure that I write that right, that I copy down the functions right. X squared plus 5x plus 1, and then 2x squared plus 2x. Okay. All right, go ahead and fill in all 6 squares. Remember, you're adding your exponents. Finished it out yet, but oh wait, yeah, yours is right, mine is wrong, because that's supposed to be just a 2x cubed. Good looking out. Okay, now let me see what else we got the rest right. Okay, so go ahead and check your squares against my squares. And we do have 2 sets of like terms, so we can add together these 2 because they both have 3 x's, and I can add these 2. So my final answer would be 2x to the power of 4. All right, what do you get when you add my 2 green highlighted squares? What do you get when you add those together? 12x cubed. All right, Otanel, what about when you add these together? 12x squared, good job. And then my last one is just a 2x. Let me go ahead and pull that up so people can see it. And that would be all 3 of my answers. So everybody, let's take out homework 1, because homework 1, we did start it on Monday. Now, for those of you who weren't here on Monday, homework 1 is due this Friday, so you can go ahead and write that down if you didn't get that. So homework 1 is due this Friday, which is the 7th, for full credit.